Hello, my name is Jack Kasowitz. I've been working with animals, my gosh, for over 60 years, 63 or 64 years. All kinds of animals, from cougars to bears to lions to eagles to hawks to owls to dolphins to whales. And I decided at the beginning of this year that I wanted to do a series once a week for 52 weeks, stories of animals that I had worked with. This week's story is about some orangutans I had worked with at Jungle Island. There were 6 there. There was Connie and Sinbad, there was Jake, there was Hannah, and Peanut and Pumpkin. This particular story is about Hannah. Hannah's this amazing 14-year-old who used to love t-shirts. I actually have pictures of her wearing some of my Speak Dolphin t-shirts. She loved t-shirts. This particular day, I went to see her in her enclosure, and I always had a treat in my pockets, hidden, several of them in my pockets, and she knew this. So I came walking up to say hello to her, and I went, "Hi, how are you?" And she points at my pocket, and I said, "What, Hannah?" I had been working on sign language with Hannah. I went, "What, Hannah?" She says, she keeps pointing at my pocket, and I said, "You want a treat?" And I gave her a treat, and she smiled. And as she smiled, I noticed there was a big cut on her hand, the back of her hand. I don't know how she got it, but it was a very big cut. So I pointed to her and I went, "What, Hannah? What? And she looked at me and she put her hand out, and then she pointed at my hand. She wanted me to put my hand on her cut. So I did that. And we sat there about 15 minutes, and she seemed to be getting some comfort from it because she just sat there. She used to coo. She made this really cute sound. And all of a sudden, the big male, Jake, got very jealous that his girl was letting me hold her hand, or she was holding my hand, whichever it was. And he comes running over there like Jake would do, and Hannah turned around and boom, and he hits poor Jake. It didn't hurt him. Jake falls back, embarrassed on the ground, laying on the ground. And Hannah reaches back and she wants my hand on her hand. So I held it for about 20 minutes. And then after about 20 minutes, she looked at me again, and you'll hear later why she called me Jack. And she looked at me and pointed here, and I said, "Oh, you want a treat?" And I gave her a treat. And that was kind of the end of that. About 4 weeks later, I went to see Hannah. And I had a cut on my hand. And I come walking up, and Hannah goes, "I have treats here," and she goes to point, she goes, and you could see her, she didn't want to point, and then she points at my hand, and she goes, "What, hand, what?" So I gave her my hand. Now she puts her hand on mine, and she holds my hand for like 20 minutes like I had done for her. That's amazing to me, that sense of compassion, that sense of caring that Hannah was showing towards me, as I had shown towards her over the times I had worked with her. So these little things that happen between us and animals sometimes are an expression of a being that is probably more sentient than we're willing to admit. So that's my story of Hannah this week. So remember, we don't own this planet. We're not entitled to it. We are stewards of it. We are stewards of this planet for ourselves and our children. So take care of it. Thank you. I'll talk to you next week.